Riley, this is Adrian Gomez with 212 Athlete. I appreciate you coming to the camp, and I'm excited to see what we can find and how we can improve. So right now, looking at your back leg, you're at about 110 degrees. So I want to be right there. I want to be a little bit lower than that. So if I can sink this a little bit lower to below 110, maybe 100, 100 degrees, we're going to have a lot more power. You're going to sink and be able to drive all of that power into your front leg. The lower I am on the back side, the more I can stay in that position and just rotate with my body and not use my arm as much. So that leads us into the next weakness. The next weakness could potentially be your front knee. So let's look at where your knee is. And as you rotate forward, we have, let's see here, about 17 degrees movement off of here to here. That's quite a bit of movement. So I want to get that a little bit smaller. The more we can reduce that, the faster your hips are going to rotate around your hips or around your front leg. So if this is firm, then this can rotate. If it's not, then your back hip's delayed into that rotation. So the next weakness, I think that front knee is definitely something that you want to work on, that external rotation of your front knee. That's going to be huge. The next one we're going to measure is your hips. 101 degrees, which is not bad. I want to be about 110. So this is where I think I could help you, especially with velocity. Right here, you're in this position. The further you squat, the longer you're going to be able to drive. So right here, you're into the drive phase, and you could have gotten maybe an extra 5-6 inches with your front foot. So you could have increased 5-6 inches this way, and that's going to increase this angle, and that's why the angle is a little bit smaller than normal. I want it to be 110 plus. The guys that are throwing very, very hard are quite up there. Okay, 120 degrees, 133 degrees with their hips. So that's a huge deal. So that's something I want you to work on. Let's look into this front leg. Now, this is another weakness that you could potentially have. We're going to look into your knee, about 121 degrees. As you drive through, throw the ball, finish, then your knee comes back. And I want to start this retraction earlier so that my chest can drive through better. And when I do both of those, it's a reciprocal action. The better my front knee, the more firm it is, the faster I can drive my chest over top of it. And I'd like to see you really get your chest further out there. And we'll talk about this. We'll talk about where your chest is and the angle of it. But I need you to work on that front knee for sure, coming back and driving through. So if you can do that, we're going to be increasing some velocity. You're going to be more consistent as well. Moving on to the posture ball release. As you release the ball, this is who you are. Okay, so this is what we call a B posture. It's actually close to an A or close to a C posture. So you're moving your head this way quite a bit. And that's just who you are. So when I come back, you're right here to start. And as you rotate through, we're right here. So that's a big movement. I would like to reduce that. Here's how I would do it. I'd get you back this way to about this line. And I'd like your upper body, instead of going forward, to come back, to get this head over that front, over that rubber as much as you can. That way, when you're about to drive, if your head was back there, this at that line, then you're gonna have less of a head movement. But you really do move quite a bit to this right side just to get the arm out. So that's something that I would definitely want you to lock in, that posture ball release, getting your upper body back a little bit further, back this way, but also up, back this way as well. Okay, looking at posture, ball release, or not posture, launch. So let's see, your launch is right here over that front foot. It's what we call a marginal launch. It's a little bit too early, and the reason why, your front knee needs to come back, your chest needs to extend forward, and the further you get out here, the easier it is to throw the ball. The easier it is to get late break movement. All these great things happen out there. There's less stress on the arm. All these great things happen. So that's something I want you to work on is a launch. The next one, we're going to talk about stacking, and we talked a little bit about earlier, but I want you to get inside, and you do a pretty good job, your knee inside and your upper body back. So I'd like to see early on, your upper body, your head over that rubber as long as you can, and then I'm going to drive through, and you can see right here, you throw with your arm and not your body, because your body doesn't continue to rotate with your arm. Your body should be the one that's propelling everything forward, not the arm. So stacking, definitely something that I want you to work on. So get your front glove. As you rotate your front glove goes straight down, and then my arm has to come up, and you'll see it from this side. This angle is a little bit better. I get down, my arm goes down, and then my arm has to come up. This throwing arm's coming up because this is going down. So how do I counteract that? Well, right here, you're in a good position, but I want to start moving this higher. But you start diving down, and when you dive down, your head, everything is going this way. So I want to make sure I drive, I get with my front glove, and I pinch really, really well this way, a little bit higher, and I'm going to start driving with my chest. This chest is going to be over that front knee a little bit further out. Right now it's there, and I want it to be out there a little bit further. So that's a chest extension that we're going to work on as well. So the front glove is definitely something I want you to work on. Let's look at the high elbow here. High elbow is something we're just going to measure off of your elbow here. So you're leading. You can tell that your elbow is leading your chest. And I want your chest to lead your elbow. So you're staying pinched here, and I want you to start rotating with your chest, and you'll see that you're not rotating with your chest. You're driving your elbow forward, and then you're throwing the ball. I want you to drive your chest, so this is what we call a low elbow. Your elbow is a little bit low by about 7 degrees. I'd like to see it equal to right around here. So elbows off by just a few inches, but that can make a big difference. And I want to make sure that your chest is going first, then your elbow, then your wrist, in that order. So here, chest should be continue to drive, but it stops, and it's all arm there. So that's going to be huge. So chest, that's something that I want you to work on as well. That high elbow, you actually have a low elbow, but that's something that you could, very well fix and just feel so much better. Okay, now we're going to get into chest extension. This is what I was talking about earlier. I really want you to see this because, let's see here, off your back hip up to your shoulder. Okay, that's 32 degrees, and what I want to see is 48 degrees. So we're not talking about big numbers. We're talking about something very small. Big extension. We're talking about 5-6 inches, and that's going to help you continue to drive your chest. And you can see how your chest or your shoulder blade comes up and over. You're not alleviating that pain and that stress on the shoulder with your body. You're actually absorbing all of it in the shoulder blade. And I want you to use your body to slow your arm down, and not just your arm to slow your arm down. So that's going to take a lot of stress off the arm as well, just that chest extension getting through across your body. The last thing I'm going to talk about is this is layback. And so if I took a cross section of your elbow here, your arm comes outside because it has to. Because your chest is going this way. Chest is going here, and I should be really driving my chest as much as you can, and so your chest stops, and then your elbow's leading, and then all of a sudden it has nothing else to do but to go out. So I really got to get you to minimize this. So this is layback, and I want to see somewhere in there. So we're not talking about a lot. We're talking about very minimal stuff right around here, so that I can push. You can see your elbow staying straight there. I want a bent elbow so that you can rotate through that and get more velocity through that arm, and then be able to get across your body, better chest extension, all of that. So last thing I want to see is your back leg. See how your leg comes up and it's off the ground? I want to keep that back leg on the ground and drag it so that your chest can go through. The reason why your chest isn't going through is because this back leg comes up. It should be straight, and that's where the chest should be, that 48 degrees. So it's not just necessarily a chest problem, it's a leg problem as well. So you got to get that back leg straight. That's going to be huge. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of 212 Athlete, and we'll talk to you soon.